G'day. MP Numbers checking in, just creating a video today to have a brief chat about what I think about the Ixalan mechanics and talking from an average limited player's point of view as to what these are going to mean for us draft in, draft out over the next couple of months where we're playing in Ixalan. I'm not going to be focusing on the rares, I'm not going to be focusing on build arounds, literally just looking at the mechanics, what kind of synergies they will offer for us and what we can expect to see with the decks, with the drafting, how it all happens. So let's just jump in. I'm going to start with some of the mechanics and go from there. Now, the most recent returning mechanic is the crew/vehicle mechanic. This is an awesome one, and it's on theme for the pirate set. The idea, if you weren't around in Kaladesh, is that you can use your creatures to crew these vehicles, which are usually bigger than what you're paying for, and let you attack. Now, this is awesome because it means that in your late game, your 2-drops are still going to be effective. The downside with deck building on these guys is that you need to make sure you don't have too many vehicles because they're not creatures, and without having a creature to help you out, they literally just they don't do anything. So it's always good to have one or two, but definitely don't chuck too many in. Now, the second ability that's coming back recently from Khans of Tarkir, and one of my favourite mechanics in recent history would be the raid mechanic. Now, raid is a mechanic that it's not too complicated. You don't have to build around it. You're not doing anything special for it. It literally just rewards you for playing the game properly. One of the things you learn when you start moving past everyday Magic is that you need to attack before you play your creatures for so many reasons, and if you don't understand, let me know, because it's something that you need to pick up once you're familiar with the game. I tend to find that personally when I'm evaluating these cards, if they're more than 3 or 4 drop, you can just assume when you're evaluating the card that the raid mechanic is active. Obviously it's different when you're in the game, but generally you can just make that assumption and it's going to be good. Like raid, there's no raid deck, it's just going to be good raid cards that really work. The next mechanic would be the rage mechanic. This is a new one that's come in, and it has actually similar to a Hearthstone mechanic where your creature takes damage and X happens. It can be you gain 2 life, it can be you put some counters on, it could be you draw a card, whatever it may be. You find that, again, similar to Raid, I don't think there's going to be an Enrage deck specifically. You'll find there are cards that help you enable Raid, such as this little bad boy, just to hit your creature for damage, trigger the Enrage, and move on to combat with the bonuses. I don't think you're going to be building the Enraged deck unless you get some very specific build arounds, but they will exist. You're going to get combat benefits. You've got to make sure you know that they're there. And generally, it's going to be good. The next new mechanic that we're going to look at is Explore. Now, Explore's a pretty sweet ability as well. Actually, I think all the mechanics in this set are going to be pretty good for our limited environment. With Explore, if you haven't read into it, the card comes into play, you reveal the top card. If it's a land, you get it in your hand. If it's not, you get a counter on the creature, and you put that card either in top of your library or in the graveyard. Now, putting the card into the graveyard top of the library is better than Scry. I mean, if this card said put a counter on it and Scry, that would be great. Going into the graveyard, it's just awesome because the graveyard could often be a resource where the bottom of your library is just a card you're never going to see again for the rest of the game. Yeah, look, it's just good. There's really not much more to say on that one. It's again, there might, based on some further mechanics, there might be an Explore based deck with the +1/+1 counters, but generally, it's not going to be the Explore deck. It's probably just going to be the blue-green deck or the Merfolk deck. But more on that as we go through. So that's the mechanics of the set. They're all pretty awesome, and there's really, again, you're not going to be building around the mechanics. You're more going to be building around the tribes. You find that the 3 common tribes that share these mechanics are the pirates, the dinosaurs, and the merfolk. Pirates have your raid ability. The dinosaurs are the ones with the enrage, and the merfolk tend to be explored. Not all merfolk, but they're the ones that most take advantage of the +1/+1 counter shenanigans that are happening. If someone comes up to me and says, I built an Explore deck, I'm like, I'll be like, did you? You probably built a Merfolk deck, or if you built an Enraged deck, it's probably just a Dino deck. I think you're not building around the mechanics, you're building around the tribes, looking for the synergy on that side of things. I don't think it's going to be too hard in a draft to kind of pick your niche. My personal favourite, and feel free to argue with me, is probably going to be Pirates, and I see myself forcing Pirates way more than I should be, being the aggressive colour, being the aggressive player. But I definitely will be having a whack with the enraged cards. I'll be exploring all over the place. Yeah, no, it's going to be a great format. The last tribe that I want to talk about doesn't really have a mechanic or keyword around it, but the vampires, which seem to be mostly in white-black, their theme seems to be around token generation and life gaining. So a lot of the main vampire cards will do one of two things. There's a little lifelink happening, and yeah, a lot of go wide strategies. Doesn't seem to be any go wide payoffs. Like we don't have any glorious anthems as far as I've seen. It could be wrong. But yeah, look, it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. No keyword specifically, but the vampire deck is definitely going to be a thing. So look, in summary, I think a lot of the main decks are going to be the pirate deck, the vampire deck, the dinosaur deck, and the merfolk deck. Other than that, it's going to be some shenanigans. There could be some artifact stuff happening with the treasure tokens. The other one, not really too exciting for me, to be honest. And then otherwise, just your normal stompy deck, aggro deck, control deck, if you can put those in. I'm really looking forward to Ixalan, and that's just been my thoughts on the mechanics and how they go. If you guys like hearing myself and Average Drafter talk about this kind of stuff, let me know. I'd be happy to sit here and talk about archetypes and best cards in format, best cards in color, and sleepers and things. But I don't know, if you guys want that, let me know. The comment section's down there. It's going to be big and empty, so leave one for me if you agree with what I've said, if you disagree with what I've said, if you think I'm just talking crap. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll have draft videos. I'll be doing drafting once a week, hopefully with Ixalan at least, if not more. Forcing those sweet pirate decks, having a lot of fun with it, and loving the format. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping by. Please, the like button is there. The comments are the most important thing. So let me know what you think, and have a good one.